in the ballgame. Meanwhile, Ryan Howard had 6 ribbies, including 4 on this grand salami off of Jack Tassner. And the Phillies went on to score 12 runs in the opener on 13 hits. They won Game 1 against the Pirates very easily. Game 2, different story. Zach Duke was outstanding for the Pirates. Roy Halladay was for the Phillies. In fact, Halladay pitched his 53rd career complete game. Only problem was he suffered the loss. Duke went 6 innings, then gave way to his bullpen. Octavio Dotel came out throwing gas, and he picked up the save in the 9th inning of Game 2. Now, last night, similar story. Pitcher's duel once again. Jamie Moyer, outstanding, and it was a game of inches. 2 different plays off the glove of Placido Polanco resulted in the first 2 runs for the Cubs before the Phillies got on the board. Cubs added 2 later, and then Carlos Marmol came on to close the door despite an erratic 9th inning by getting Shane Victorino. So now, the final game of this 2-game series between the Phils and the Cubs on a beautiful afternoon for baseball here in Philadelphia. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Gary Matthews will be here a little later on. Well, the Phillies' offense has gone a little dry the last couple of days, Wheels. Great pitching the last couple of nights, but very little offense.
A shame to waste that pitching, too, Tom. As you said, Halladay and Moyer, they were just great in the rotation, but it hasn't worked out. They haven't been able to score runs, and as a result, they've come up a little bit short. Last night was a really weird game. You just talked about those deflections. 2 balls off the glove of Placido Polanco. That play right there, they would have been able to hold the runner at third because Jimmy Rollins would have caught it. And then in the 7th inning, here's this ball that goes off his glove and again deflects into left field, scores a run for the Chicago Cubs. And then every play at first base seemed to be bang, bang, and go against the Phils. They were called correctly by Bill Hahn, but that was a tremendous play by Gorzolani. That knocked him out of the ballgame as that ball went off his pitching hand. And then later on in the 8th inning, another left-hander on in John Graybo, and this ball dribbled down the third baseline. How he gets to that and throws Ryan Howard out was just remarkable. Phillies did score a run on the play, but he just made a great play on that. And then Starlin Castro, the 20-year-old shortstop, shows off his gun right there. Zambrano, he's never too enthusiastic about things. He kind of enjoyed that in relief. And then Marmol, he's an adventurer in the 9th inning, but he had a 3-run lead to work with, and he was able to do his specialty, and that's strikeouts. 1 on Glode, 1 on Victorino, and he got the job done. So it's been a little bit tough for the Phillies the last couple games. First 37 games, and then the comparison in the last 2 games. And you know, when you have numbers like that, you almost have to pitch shutouts or only give up 1 run to win those kind of games. They haven't been able to do that, although, as we said, their starting pitching has been great. Will they break out here this afternoon? You never know with this team in this ballpark because they are such a good offensive team.
Well, and the Phillies also will be facing a right-hander this afternoon instead of the last 2 lefties. They are 1-6 against lefties in this ballpark this year. It'll be the right-hander Ryan Dempster for the Cubs, right-hander Joe Blanton coming off a pretty good outing his last time out against the Milwaukee Brewers. Another sold-out crowd, beautiful sunshiny afternoon. The lineups and first pitch coming up next. brief series between the Cubs and the Phils. Let's take a look at Lou Piniello's starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Leading it off in right field, Kosuke Fukudome. Ryan Theriot, the second baseman, bats second. Derek Lee hits third, followed by Marlon Byrd in center field batting cleanup. Alfonso Soriano bats fifth. Mike Fontenot makes a start over at third base for the injured Aramis Ramirez. Starlin Castro bats seventh at shortstop. Hitting eighth is Coy Hill, the catcher. And batting ninth and pitching is veteran right-hander Ryan Dempster. And they will face righty Joe Blanton, who is coming off his first win of the season in a game in which he pitched pretty well against the Milwaukee Brewers. And in all honesty, despite the ERA, Joe has been able to accumulate innings in a very short period of time.
Well, that's what he does, Tom. You know, he's been known for that throughout his career. And, you know, he had to basically go through spring training after he hurt himself. He had to go through all those rehabs. And, you know, he's just starting to come into pitching shape right now. You know, the guy is an innings eater. There's no doubt about it. From Southwest Airlines, here's our scouting report. And mentioned he's just starting to catch up after that time in the DL. Watching him the last year or so, to me, the biggest thing is his repertoire is his changeup. When he has a good changeup in a game, it seems like he's able to really compete with his other pitches and get hitters out effectively.
Well, last time out against the Brewers against lefties, they had 3 hits and 12 at-bats against him. And he'll face some lefties today, including the leadoff batter, Kosuke Fukudome, who didn't start last night's ball game but came in late as a defensive replacement. The Cubs are in a little bit of a transition mode in the outfield, particularly in right field. And Fukudome could very well be the odd man out, despite the fact he's had a pretty good year. .313 average, 5 homers and 20 RBIs. The first pitch lifted in the air to right field. So Ross Glode, making just his second start of the season in right field, makes the catch on the first pitch of the afternoon. Ross Glode playing right field today for Jason Worth, who's celebrating a birthday today. But he's going to be celebrating it, at least sitting and watching for the time being.
At least for the time being. He's fine, too, even though he's hit some balls off his, there's another birthday celebration going on here at the ballpark. Even though he hit the one ball off his ankle, another ball off his foot. He could play today, but Charlie just feels he's not swinging real well and he needs a day off, so he's going to sit.
Here's Ryan Theriot, a .317 hitter overall, with no homers and 14 RBIs. Theriot led off last night. He was 1 for 4. He's hit well at this ballpark. And he takes the 1-1 and pulls it towards short to his right, Rollins, and he throws him out.
That's the difference in a play. The shortstop, Jimmy Rollins, who is such an intelligent player, you decide who the runner is. And that's when you decide to backhand that player, take it on your heels like that a little bit. And in Jimmy's case, he felt that Theriot, he was able to take that ball the way that he did and not have to backhand it and quick releasing.
So Joe Blanton Wheels has the first 2 outs on just 4 pitches. It'd be nice if the Cubs come out swinging tonight, today, so Joe can continue to put some innings together and get some work in as he continues to get stronger since being on the DL with that strained oblique.
Well, these games have been flying by in this homestand. And a lot of the reasons, Charlie talked about it last night, the pitching's been good on both sides, but you know, there's been some impatient at bats by his club, he thinks.
Well, Derek Lee is going to pop one out to right center field to Shane Victorino. It's a 6-pitch inning for Joe Blanton. 1, 2, 3 go the Cubs. Middle of the first. Cubs nothing. Phillies coming up. It's against the Pirates and the Cubs. Let's see what they do this afternoon. Let's take a look at Charlie Manuel's starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity. While Shane Victorino remains in the leadoff spot in center field, Placido Polanco bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard, the first baseman. Jimmy Rollins moves up to the 5-hole. He's over at shortstop. Raul Ibanez bats sixth in left field. Ross Glode bats seventh, followed by the catcher Paul Hoover hitting eighth. And batting ninth and pitching, of course, is right-hander Joe Blanton. And they will face veteran right-hander Ryan Dempster, who has thrown 92 career innings against the Phillies, and this will be his 9th start overall.
This guy's a real professional pitcher. Tom mentioned 92 innings. That's because he used to start so many games when he was with the Florida Marlins against the Phillies. He went to the bullpen for a while and now back in the rotation. For the Cubs, here's our Southwest Airlines scouting report. That's his fastball. It's a sinker more than anything. He'll throw those other pitches. This guy is a strike thrower. He likes to use his breaking stuff. He'll pitch backwards. If he falls behind in the count, doesn't mean you're going to get a fastball. He'll pitch away to hitters for the most part, but he does compete out there.
Well, Shane Victorino leads it off for the Phillies, and he takes a fastball off the outside corner. Victorino is 3 for 12 on the homestand, and 3 for 8 against Dempster for his career. He did reach base one time last night, but was 0 for 4 officially.
This is the point we're making before that fly ball by Lee. The Phillies, in the last couple games, have been running some deep counts, but then making easy outs. And it's just they have not been as patient as they've been earlier in some games.
A little patience here from Shane Victorino. He's ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. Phillies begin play today 24-15, and 3 games up in the National League East over the Florida Marlins, who are surging a little bit. And it's 2-2. Dropped right in at the knees. Victorino's going to take a walk. I don't think he's agreed with these last 2 pitches from Bill Hahn. Bill Hahn is behind the plate this afternoon. Gary Darling, the crew chief of this 4-man crew, is over at first. At second, Bruce Dreckman. And around at third is Paul Emmel, who had the plate in last night's game. Next, the Phillies are 3 games up in the division. The Cubs, meanwhile, are 3 games under 500 and 4.5 games out of first place in the Central. As Victorino lofts one to left, Alfonso Soriano makes the catch. Well, every time the Phillies retire the opposing team in order, which Joe Blanton did in the top of the first, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone.
Cubs are on a little winning streak right now. They've won 4 in a row and playing a little bit better. They have a lot of talent on their team, but they're kind of a mystery team the last few years. Really put your finger on, what's going on with them. A few years ago, it looked like they were the best team in baseball till they got to the postseason. Then they went out quick.
Yeah, they've won the division under Lou Piniella 2 different times. Placido Polanco, the hitter, and Polanco lines one to right. Fukudome moves over, and he makes the catch. So 2 outs on 8 pitches now by Ryan Dempster,
who's come out throwing fastball after fastball. He mentioned in the scouting report how much he likes use his off-speed stuff. But at least early in this game, he is going to throw a lot of fastballs.
There is Lou Piniella in his 4th year as the skipper of the Cubs. He's won 1,803 games as a major league manager.
It's one of those faces that looks like it belongs on the field. He's come up here, and he's fooling around with broadcasting a little bit, and Lou enjoys that. But that's a field man right there. That's a baseball guy, belongs in the dugout.
Chase Utley, the batter, with 2 away, and Chase takes a pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. Chase overall, as you saw, hitting .304 with 9 home runs and 6 career hits against Ryan Dempster. Chase has played in just 1 game, now 2 on this homestand because of the flu. And he lines one in the air deep to right field. Fukudome going back. That one is gone! Solo home run for Chase Utley. It's his 10th of the year, and the Phillies are on the board first against the Cubs.
Talk about all the fastballs that Dempster is throwing. It looked like he threw an off-speed pitch there, maybe a breaking ball. And it looked like it was a little bit down and in. And, that little quick stroke to Chase Utley, he just golfed it out in a hurry.
And that home run means that Christy Lee Radishevsky of Chalfont, PA, has just won $300. Compliments of Chase to the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Yep, supposed to be a back foot breaking ball, and where was it? Right in the middle of the plate, and that went out in a hurry.
So double digits in home runs for Chase. 1-0 Phillies, and here comes Ryan Howard.
Those pitches, when they miss to a left-handed hitter, are deadly for a pitcher because they wind up in the middle of the plate or just down and in enough where they can keep it fair and hit it hard. And he missed his spot by a lot that time.
Ryan riding an 8-game hitting streak as Chase will sit down, take his breath, and look on for the remainder of this first inning. That is only the 7th home run allowed by Dempster this season in 57 innings of work.
Well, the league's only hitting .210 against him. He's lost 4 in a row, but they haven't scored a whole lot of runs. It's not like he's been getting hit around. Last time out, he threw 123 pitches in a losing cause. I think it was in 7 innings. He threw 123. So I'm sure they'll watch him out there today because, you know, they won't want him to have a real big workload. There's Chase, who's back and feeling a lot better.
2-1 the count to Howard. And Ryan lays off 3 balls and 1 strike.
They could make him throw a lot of pitches here today. They could get Dempster out of this game a lot earlier than, because he's a workhorse, but when you go 123 your next start, even if it's on its regular day, it can be a little shaky.
3-1 pitch to Howard. Outside, ball 4. Well, it's interesting because Charlie Manuel has talked about the same thing with Roy Halladay over the last couple of days, because Roy pitched into the 130s the other night against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Charlie and Roy met yesterday and talked about that outing. Charlie said they're on the same page when it comes to the number of pitches, the workload and everything.
Yeah, and you know, Charlie's had to talk about that more than he wants to. There's Halladay. And what happened with that game as much as anything was it got out of hand a little bit in the 9th inning when he went out there. And I didn't expect him to go out there and have a long 9th inning the way that he had, and that really made the count go way up.
Here's Jimmy Rollins with 2 gone. Jimmy batting 5th today, 34 career at-bats against Dempster, which is the most in the Phillies lineup. So Jimmy has batted 3rd, 6th, and 5th.
And that would make sense for all the games that Dempster pitched against him with the Marlins.
0-2 the count. A fastball taken at the knees for a strike. There's Jamie Moyer to your left. Jamie pitched well yesterday. In fact, he and Roy Halladay the last 2 nights have thrown exceptionally well. And the Phillies just haven't gotten a whole lot of offense, but they do get the early home run here. Ryan Dempster, as Wheels mentioned, was the closer for the Cubs for parts of 3 seasons. In fact, the most saves he had in a season was 33. That year, which was 2005, he was 5-3. He made 6 starts, and he had 33 saves. So he is among the leaders in Cubs history in saves. He's 4th behind Lee Smith, Bruce Sutter, Randy Myers, and just ahead of Rod Beck. Some pretty good closers on that list.
Yeah. Especially that first guy. And the second one wasn't bad either. Lee Smith and Bruce Sutter.
On the inside corner at the knees, and Jimmy's called out to finish up this first inning. But the Phillies do get a run on a solo home run by Chase Utley. It's his 10th of the season, and he just hooked this one right into the stands as we go to the 2nd. in Philadelphia. I mean, it is a gorgeous afternoon, a sold-out crowd. Temperatures are perfect, and we go to the second with the Phillies leading at 1-0, and Marlon Byrd leads it off. Now, we've seen through the first inning or so that Bill Hahn has a very low strike zone, so let's see if the pitchers pick up on that as the afternoon moves on. 0-1 pitch to Byrd. He lifts it foul down the right field line. It's 0-2. Marlon is third in the league in hitting at .333. Andre Ethier, who is on the disabled list for the Dodgers, leads just about every offensive category in the National League. Marlon also has 7 home runs and 25 runs batted in. Phillies held him hitless last night. He was 0 for 4. But there was a lot of that going around last night. Toward third base, waiting on it, Placido Polanco. And a long throw to retire Marlon Byrd. Voting is now open for the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim. Help send your favorite Phillies to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Phillies.com. Visit Phillies.com. Cast your ballot now for your 2010 All-Stars. Vote early, vote often. Vote today at Phillies.com. Of course, you can also vote here at the ballpark when you come watch the Phils this weekend against the Red Sox. Charlie Manuel and his staff will be the staff for the National League. Joe Girardi and his staff will be the staff for the American League. Soriano lifts it in the air to left, pretty deep. Ibanez going back. Does he have room? He does. Just enough to make the catch. 2 away.
Soriano's notorious first ball fastball hitter, and Joe threw him one. It looked like he got in on him a little bit, though. I don't think he got extended on that, or that's going to be way out. If he doesn't pull his arms back, see, they want to come inside, pulled his arms back, and that kept it in the ballpark. There's Grohl putting the hand out to make sure he doesn't get too close to the wall.
And that'll bring Mike Fontenot to the plate. Fontenot takes one low, 1 ball and no strikes. Fontenot basically lost his starting job when Starlin Castro was brought up from the minor leagues. That one's off the end of the bat. A flare to center field. Shane Victorino didn't read it right away, but he's able to track it down. Shane closed very quickly to retire Fontenot. 1, 2, 3 go the Cubs for a second straight inning. We go to the bottom of the second. Finals clash versus the Canadians on Flyers Pregame Live. After the game, get exclusive interviews and highlights, plus former Flyer Rick Tockett's expert analysis on Flyers Postgame Live. There's only one place to get total Flyers playoff coverage, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Flyers are up 2-0 in that series. As Raul Ibanez leads it off, and Ibanez takes a fastball for a strike. First time the Flyers in franchise history have started a playoff series with consecutive shutouts. It's 42 years in all those playoff games and series that they've had. In fact, they're on what, a 13-goal run right now without the opposition scoring anything.
Carl Graber will get that for you, our statistician.
I glanced at him.
He knows that stuff.
2-1 the count to Ibanez. Raul hitting .238 with 3 homers and 18 runs batted in. And he went around, says the home plate umpire Bill Hahn. Although I don't know if Bill Hahn may have called that a strike anyway. Raul asked him something, and Hahn was nodding yes to Raul. He may have said, "Did you call that a strike?"
Well, you watch Dempster, and he's pretty much what he normally does, and that's pitch away to everybody. You know, he was going to look like try and throw it down and then breaking ball to Chase Utley. He'll come in at times, but his reputation has always been pitch away from the bat.
A roller toward the middle, backhanded by Terrio, spinning to the ground, not in time.
Somebody's finally safe. That was a heck of a play by Terrio, though. And last night, every call at first base, there's so many bang calls, and the Phillies were out on all of them, called correctly, and so was that one.
So Ibanez gets an infield hit.
Here it is, another pitch away, and Raul hits it up the middle. Great job there by Terrio to pop up and throw. You know, he's played a lot of shortstop. You see how strong his arm is, how much he got on that throw from that position. That's because he plays shortstop.
Oh, Ross Glode batting now with nobody out and a runner at first. And Glode takes a pitch low and inside, 1-0.
It's good for Ross Glode to get out there and have a chance to get some at bats. He does a tremendous job as a pinch hitter. Only his second start this year. Charlie's had trouble finding places for him to play because Worth is such a, well, Worth's an everyday player. And
so
a good
is Ryan Howard at first.
So is Ryan Howard at first. And, you know, Ibanez in left, they have a tendency to use Francisco out there when he gets a day off. So it's been tough for Glode.
Well, Ross Glode struck out last night. It was the first time he struck out this year. As Jason Worth looks on in the dugout.
Let's see, he has Robin Roberts' number there on his baseball cap.
And a 2-1 the count to Glode. And the last time the Phillies wore these uniforms was the day that they found out that Robin had passed away. And Jason, a Springfield, Illinois native, put Robin's number on his cap. The Phillies have been hanging Robin's home jersey in the dugout here at Citizens Bank Park and his road jersey in the dugout when they hit the road. Glode lines one toward left. It was slicing on Soriano. And he makes the catch. Back to first goes Ibanez.
That's not what Glode wanted to do. Of course, he wanted to pull in that situation, see maybe if he could get a first and third out of it.
So one gone. Here's Paul Hoover. Had a really good weekend against the Milwaukee Brewers. Getting a chance to catch this day game after a night game. Carlos Ruiz got hit by a pitch last night pretty hard in the 9th inning. Paul was 5 for 12 overall, and just about all those hits took place this weekend against the Brewers. In fact, all of them did take place against the Brewers. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Ibanez being held on by Derek Lee. Broke his bat. Chopper towards short. Castro to second for one. Terrio had a little trouble getting out of his glove, but he still is able to convert the double play. 6-4-3. Phils go down quietly here in their half of the second. A little bit of defense by both teams in the early going. Phillies have a 1-0 lead as we go to the third. Philadelphia. The Phils lead at 1-0 as we go to the top of the third. How about some minor league baseball starting even earlier? Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs earlier today picked up a victory up at their ballpark. Chris Duffy, an opposite field 2-run double. And that gave the Iron Pigs the lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. And then John Swomey, well, he capped it off, a 3-run home run right out over that trough over in right field. That was a long one. So the Iron Pigs defeated Louisville by a final score of 8-4. Cody Ransom hit his 10th home run for the Iron Pigs. First pitch swinging for Castro, and he skies it to center. So Joe Blanton has 7 outs on 15 pitches.
So that's the 3rd out on the first pitch, maybe 4. No, it's at least 3 because 2 last inning and that one.
Joe will take that. By the way, in that ball game for Lehigh Valley, we mentioned that Ransom hit his 10th home run. Cody's really swung the bat well down in AAA. It was a 3-run shot. Andrew Carpenter went 7 innings, struck out 2. He improved to 4-4 as Coy Hill bats here. And Scott Matheson. Scott Matheson has really had a very good start to this season, which is great to see because he's coming back from a couple of different arm surgeries. He lowered his ERA to .87 with 2 strikeouts in an inning of work. So good for Dave Huppert and his squad. They're now 16-24.
Cody Ransom hit a lot of home runs in spring training, so it's surprising that he took it into the season.
Coy Hill making the start today for Giovanni Soto. He's taking some pitches. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, he's a switch hitter, much better left-handed hitter, although he's not really known as an offensive player, more as a defensive catcher. And with a guy like Soto, you don't get to play that much.
The first 3-ball count of the day for Joe Blanton. And a swing and a miss and a changeup. Nice pitch by Blanton. First strikeout. And there are 2 outs here in the 3rd.
Here it is. You see that ball sink down.
Oh, that was a fastball.
Yeah, it was a fastball. 3-2. 3-2 fastball, the 8-hole hitter. And, you know, that strike zone is low, and you got to swing there.
And swinging here is Dempster, and he pulls it down the left field line foul, and it's 0-1. Just saw that promo. The Hatfield Dollar Dog Nights are upon us here at Citizens Bank Park. The next one is June 7th at 7:05 against the Padres. The 5th of July is against the Braves. Get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. 0-2 the count to Dempster. Pretty good breaking pitch there by Blanton. Dempster's a pretty good hitting pitcher.
He's a real good athlete.
And a swing and a miss, and Dempster's down on strikes. And Joe Blanton has retired the side in order for the 3rd consecutive inning. 9 up, 9 down for Joe Blanton to begin this ball game. We've played 2.5. The Phillies lead it 1-0. By Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by your participating Philadelphia area Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. Last of the third, Phillies lead at 1-0 thanks to a home run by Chase Utley. Joe Blanton leads it off, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Blanton hitting .333 this year. He's 2 for 6. And a curveball, and it's 0-2. Ryan Dempster has that little funky move when he comes into his windup where he shuffles his glove around. Started doing that a couple years ago because the folks thought he was tipping his pitches, so he figured that was a way to kind of distract the hitter as he was coming to the plate, and he distracts Joe Blanton to the point where he strikes him out. And there are 2 outs. Time now for the Dodge Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan forum section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, can you name the 2 pitchers that struck out their 3,000th batter while in a Cubs uniform?
I don't know.
I think you can.
Really?
We'll reveal the answer in the 7th inning.
Well, one of them could have been a guy that pitched in this town at one point.
Well, there's a Philly connection to both of them.
Both of them?
Victorino flied to left his first time up. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
And Shane was patient his first time up, and then he had a couple pitches called on him. He didn't like, fouled some off, and flew out. You know, he did get up there and make Dempster throw some pitches.
Dempster here in the third has 37 pitches overall. And he delivers a strike, and it's 2-1. Shane has 5 home runs this month, which is tied for second in the National League. You might sit there and say, well, that's not a lot of home runs to be among the leaders in the National or American League in a month. And you know what? You're right. Particularly since we are beyond the midway point in this month already. The weather in the East has not been too warm, so the ball's not carrying as much. And it's 3-2. Polanco waits on deck.
Shane might just lock into a fastball now, figuring he's not going to back up breaking balls, even though he just threw a 2-2 slider there that missed.
Another breaking ball, and it's hit towards shortstop. Castro has time. Oh boy, almost pulled Derek Lee right off the bag. And he throws out Victorino. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, there's one National League game, one American League game going on. Joey Votto's been on a little bit of a tear lately. It's a grand slam today. The Reds lead the Braves 5-0. That game's at the top of the second inning. Reds have won 9 of 11. Which means that Sarge's phone calls with Dusty Baker have gone a little bit better lately.
Yeah.
With 2 away, Placido Polanco stands in.
Johnny B. Baker, Sarge calls him.
You always know it's him when you hear, "What's up, Johnny B?"
What's up, Johnny B? Yeah. And they check in with each other quite a bit.
Polanco toward the hole at shortstop. Backhanded by Castro, and he dropped it. But I'll tell you, he was deep in the hole, but if he fielded that cleanly, he had Polanco at first with the kind of arm he has.
Well, he really trusts his arm, and we talk all the time about how you have to set up and take the ball in a backhand on certain plays. Well, as deep as he was, he has no choice but the backhand, because you certainly can't take that thing straight on and throw it. And here he goes. Watch how deep he is here with 2 outs. Now he backhands, and he was going to crow hop, exchange, and fire. As Tom said, he had a heck of a chance to get Polanco, because we saw him throw Worth out from almost that same spot last night. That will be a base hit. You cannot play that deep unless you really think you have a gun.
We mentioned last year, Castro at the age of 19 had 39 errors in the minor leagues, 32 in single A and 7 in double A. Now you might think that's a lot, but there was a guy by the name of Damian Jackson who played in the big leagues for a few years with the Cleveland Indians organization, had more than 50 errors in the minor leagues one year.
Oof. A few unearned runs in those pitchers probably. Well, the Cubs may have had the guy that threw the best at that position in Dunston when Sean Dunston was in his prime. Oh, he'd fire. He'd throw over there in those shadows at Leon Durham. You could literally hear Leon Durham going, easy, easy. Play those 3 o'clock games.
2-0 the count to Chase, who homered his first time up. And he lays off and takes a fastball for a strike. It's 2-1.
Chase certainly doesn't say much to umpires. He did when he first came up, and he really got away from that. I think he has a lot of respect from him, but he turned around and asked about that. He thought that pitch was low. Tried to backdoor him with a breaking ball there and missed.
Goes on first base. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Phillies lead it 1-0 because the guy at the plate, Chase Utley, who homered his last time up, his 10th homer of the year. Now the 3-1 pitch. Fastball hit in the air, straight away center field. That's crushed. Marlon Byrd going back. He's got room, and he makes the catch. A few steps from the wall, and the inning is over. The Phillies get an infield single. They strand 1. We've played 3. Go to the 4th. It's 1-0 Phils. Game series. All 3 games are at 7:05. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Sarge, you hear that music? Did you hear that music a lot last night?
I did hear the music, as a matter of fact. Wow, that's pretty good. I'll tell you what.
Sarge was not here last night because he was down in Washington, D.C. at a state dinner. Pretty impressive stuff. Sarge was there with his wife Sandy, getting a chance to enjoy the President of the United States and folks from Mexico. And was it a great night?
It was a real good night. A lot of people were there, and more friendly than anything else.
Well, you're a friendly guy.
Beyonce was there and singing and performing. No, JC did not perform.
Kosuke Fukudome takes a pitch down and away. It's 1-2. Well, Sarge, last night sat next to Whoopi Goldberg. So did you ask Whoopi Goldberg if she was going to talk about you on The View today?
I got to tell you, she was really friendly.
Fukudome's rung up for out number 1 here in the 4th inning. 3 straight strikeouts for Joe Blanton. And Joe has retired 10 straight. This is just a little cheese right here, Sarge.
Yeah, he has control on it, too. Look at that spot on the outside part of the plate.
Blanton now will face Ryan Terrio, who grounded a shortstop his first time up. 0 for 1. And he hits one hard, gloved nicely on the grass by Polanco. 2 outs. All reactions there if you're going to play that close at third base. And Polanco did a nice job reacting to that ground ball.
Yeah, he showed that he can play that position, and after catching it, realizing he had so much time because the ball was hit so hard, see how he just takes his time, almost reads the label, goes right over, and Blanton says, okay, way to go.
Three groundouts recorded by the Phillies behind Blanton to go along with 3 strikeouts and a handful of fly balls. Here's Derek Lee. That one just missed off the outside corner. Lee fly to center his first time up.
He was a guy at this time of the year usually not hitting 226. Having a difficult time getting started. He tries to call timeout a little bit late.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Bill Hahn gave him timeout, honestly.
I think that was more courtesy with Joe Blanton, too, kind of just stopping.
Another pitch down and another strike on a foul ball, and it's 1-2. Toward third base, waiting on the slow chopper, Placido Polanco. Long throw, a little high out of the glove of Ryan Howard. Lee was safe anyway. It gets away. Utley's flipped to second, not in time. That's good hustle by Derek Lee to get to second base on that one. Well, that's probably going to be an error to Polanco.
Well, it's got to be.
And there's going to have to be another error to allow Lee to go to second base.
2-base error on this. Plenty of time, nothing fancy, just throws it up high, just gets away from him. You can see Howard trying to come down to put that tag on him. De Jesus saying, hey, it's off the bag, go, go. Again, that's another instinct play. Runner has to know his speed to get over to second base.
Yeah, I guess I thought they could give an error to Ryan, even though it was a tough play because the ball got jarred from his glove and kicked it to right. But you're right, Sarge, that's a 2-base error then on Placido Polanco.
Yeah, well, he gets it on that high throw, and that's he jumps up,
right,
comes back, tries to make the tag to save him. That ball just goes away. So
yeah, it would have been tough to give Ryan an error on that.
Oh yeah.
So Lee's in scoring position. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. First base runner of the day for the Cubs, and the count is 0-1 to Marlon Byrd.
Bird's been their best hitter. Coming over to the Cubs, bringing his hitting coach, Rudy Harmeal.
We may not get a chance to do it here, Sarge, but you're a connoisseur of hitting, and Marlon Byrd has a very distinct style at the plate now, where he stands with his hands very close to his head and his body, and then at the last moment, he just jumps back with his hands and gets it to a hitting stance.
And that would be his loading point when he's getting back. Doesn't stride all that much.
On the hands toward third. Another chance for Polanco. This time the throw is right on the money. And Joe Blanton strands a runner in scoring position. So Blanton is not allowed to hit through the first 4. Cubs did get their first base runner. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Ryan Howard set to lead it off. and the amazing Kazashi Sports Sedan. By Xfinity from Comcast, proud partner of the Phillies. By Coca-Cola, official soft drink of the Philadelphia Phils. And by the Quality Plus Ford dealers. Phillies lead it 1-0. As Ryan Howard leads it off here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Hey, the boys are back, Sarge.
Oh, boy.
Do you have your windmill?
How do they... That is huge. I guess it kind of keeps them cool a little bit.
Ryan Howard skies one to left. Alfonso Soriano didn't see it right away, but he's got room, and he makes the catch. And Ryan on one pitch is set aside here in the fourth inning. Last year, the gentleman to your left there presented Sarge and myself with little windmills that he made by hand. Those are metal pieces that he's made into those helmets out there. They've come back this year with full uniforms, Carlos Ruiz uniforms. Very impressive. I don't know about you, Sarge, but that windmill was out in front of my house for most of the year. It finally blew down about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, boy. I still have mine.
That's the kind of guy you are. You preserve things. Jimmy Rollins, the hitter, with one away. And Jimmy hits it toward the gap in right center field. Bird was playing deep, which means he can cut it off. 2 outs, and he doesn't play deep all the time.
No, that ball off the end of the bat just a little bit. Getting hung up. Hit it pretty good, just didn't carry.
Limping a little bit. He's pointed to his quad.
So at the top there. Now watch how he goes in there. That ball there usually would get in the gap, but it just hung up as he almost overruns it.
I think he may have hurt himself, though, Sarge.
Well, he's hitting that high 300s. He's not going to be coming out anytime soon.
0-1 the count to Ibanez, and he hits one towards straightaway center field. Marlon Byrd getting another opportunity a few steps from the warning track, and it's a 1-2-3 fourth inning for Ryan Dempster. 3 straight fly ball outs for Dempster. We've played 4 here in Philadelphia. Another pitcher's duel for the 3rd straight day. Boys ages 6 to 14, 15 locations, 10 weeks to choose from. Call 610-520-3400 or log on to PhilliesCamps.com for more information. Get a chance to come to the ballpark, see Citizens Bank Park, get a uniform as Alfonso Soriano leads it off here in the top of the 5th. Soriano flied out to Fairly deep left field is, or I should say deep left field his first time up. He went right to the wall.
Yeah, fastball got in on him a little bit, but you do have to pitch this guy in. Likes to get those arms extended.
Nice play there by Katie. Making that youngster pretty happy down there, although he looked like he was pretty content with that lollipop.
I think so.
2-1 pitch to Soriano. Popped up. First base side, back into the seats. All the things at the ballpark to get. And he got not only a baseball, but he's also got a lollipop. Gonna be a little sticky today, Sarge.
Oh, yeah.
Got in on him again. Ryan Howard will have room, battling the high sky. He can't see it. He couldn't even see it.
Well, he showed you right away looking up. Once he kind of just gives his hands up, hey, I can't see the ball, and no one else was going to be able to get there. That's just one of those things. You look up, it's frightening. You're looking up to see the ball, you see nothing. We talked about it before. Make sure you have your mouth closed, especially if you don't see it. I'll take a chance of losing your choppers.
Well, that's going to be the first hit of the day for the Cubs. It shoots off the half wall in left field, and Soriano's going to be aboard with the leadoff double. So it took until the 4th before the Cubs got their first base runner. Takes until the 5th before their first base hit.
Yeah, just a bad break as Soriano hits this ball right down the line after a pop-up that Ryan Howard couldn't see. It's an automatic double off. It hits off the railing on that third base line.
Mike Fontenot fly to center his first time up. Swinging at the first pitch. That'll get Soriano over to third. 1 out here in the 5th inning. Mike Quade, the third base coach, as Starlin Castro comes to the plate. Sarge, we are in a stretch right now where we're seeing some pretty good pitching by not only the Phillies, but also the teams the Phillies are facing. Yeah, Pirates and the Cubs.
And you don't want to. You want to score runs when you're getting those kind of outings on your pitchers. Kind of keep their confidence up. They're getting good pitch games. This kid, Castro, he's one of the guys that were in the. They have the camps that they have there in Dominican Republic.
He lines one toward right field. Glode coming on. He's not going to get there. Takes it on a hop as Soriano will score. The game is tied, and Castro has his second RBI of the series.
Yeah, Castro's been in that organization since he was 16 years old, and to be in the major leagues at 20 shows you the kind of talent that he has. Well, young player's going to make mistakes, but he can hit a fastball as he inside outs this ball all over the plate. Pretty good mechanics.
Well, 1-1 game, 2 hits now in the inning, and there could be a double play ball. Utley flips to Jimmy for one, over to first in time. A 4-6-3 double play to retire the Cubs here in the 5th. The Cubs do get a run and a break as Alfonso Soriano doubles and then scores at a base hit by Starlin Castro. Analysis from former Philly Ricky Metallico on Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Sloan Toyota, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. It's a 1-1 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Philadelphia. Cubs just scored their run on a base hit by Starlin Castro. And now the bottom third of the order for the Phillies will start it off against Ryan Dempster. Sarge, we mentioned before that Ryan Dempster, when he comes into the windup, he's always moving that glove. And I was saying that a few years ago he started doing that to kind of distract the hitters and keep them off his the kind of pitches that he's throwing.
Yeah, well, that's partly right on that. Ryan used to tip his pitches, meaning letting that hitter know what he was throwing. So in order to combat that, what he's doing is just wiggling that glove where that hitter is seeing him, just a movement of his glove, and they can't tell what pitch is coming, whether or not it's a split, fastball, or the breaking ball.
Have you ever seen a guy do anything like that? I mean, we've seen pitchers turn their body like Louis Tiant. We've seen, Al Hrabowski go through all these antics before he goes to the mound, but before he goes to the windup. But anything like this before?
No, not for me. Never seen a pitcher wiggle the glove like that.
Toward first base, Derek Lee backs up on it, and very fluid over to Dempster for the first out. I would think that it took him some time to get used to doing that. I mean, it's kind of odd, and I wonder if it not only conceals the kind of pitch he's going to throw, but also if if it gets the hitters sometimes to be mesmerized by the movement out of glove.
Yeah, what you're trying to do though is look at his arm slot, because he's got to take it out to be able to throw. Now he wiggles the glove and then he stops, so therefore that distraction for the hitter shouldn't startle him.
Delivers the pitch down and away to Paul Hoover, who grounded into a double play his only time up.
The hitters are always trying to pick up different things on a pitcher.
Just foul, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And to your advantage, if you can pick up on his breaking ball or fastball when he's going to throw it, and it doesn't mean you're going to hit it, it just gives you a better chance. San Francisco Giants, they used to have Sandy Koufax's pitches, and he still threw a 1 and 2 hitter.
The thing about Koufax, though, is that he only had 2. Fastball curve.
Fastball curve in the high 90s, and the curveball from 12 to 6. Meaning starting up high near your nose and going all the way down to the ground.
1-2 the count to Hoover. And he just stays alive.
Yeah, one of the reasons you didn't like going to the games at Dodger Stadium, the opposition just didn't get any hits. They had such good pitching.
What do you mean, as a fan, you didn't like going to the games?
As a fan. I mean, I can remember when Don Sutton was in the bullpen. I mean, that's how loaded they were with pitching. Don Drysdale. Well, we would manage to go when Claude Osteen pitched.
He would give up some runs?
That's right.
Hoover pops it up right side into that high sky. Terrio, he finds it, and he had a tough time also.
His angle a little bit different than what Ryan Howard had. Ryan Howard closer to the dugout. That one's still on the field. That's what he did. You got to go to the side if you can to try and block it. Good job. And you see he has the old-time glasses as he flips them down.
Dempster fires a fastball for strike 1 to Blanton, who struck out his first time up. Phillies scored a run in the first on a homer by Chase Utley. The Cubs scored 1 in the 5th. And a little number toward Derek Lee. He just tells Dempster to go over and cover, and he feeds him for the second time in this inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Dempster. That's 2 in a row. We've played 5. All leave it at 1. Reno. When Jimmy Rollins needed time off, it was Shane's job to lead off. Lead off and lead the Phillies is just what he has done. Batting nearly 300 in the top spot, the center fielder has delivered with his bat on a nightly basis and tripled the excitement on the base paths. When Charlie made the call, Victorino answered. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, back here at Citizens Bank Park, there's a great shot from high atop Harry the K's in left field. Some different spots around the ballpark that if you haven't gone to yet, we invite you to do so the next time you come to the yard. And that's one of the great spots, particularly on a comfortable day like this, a little bit of a breeze. And even on a hot summer night, there's always a breeze that's up there at Harry the K's and some great food. Ryan Dempster leads it off here at the top of the 6th inning, and Dempster swings at the first pitch. This is going to be the 5th out of the game. Chase Utley makes the catch, and he does, that Blanton's got on just one pitch.
Wow. Not throwing strikes around the plate. Hitters being a little bit aggressive. Normally, though, if you swing at that first pitch, you're trying to square that ball up because you're looking for it.
By the way, Sarge, I missed one. The double play to end the 5th inning was also on the first pitch. So it's just a lot of pitches that a lot of outs that Joe's gotten on just one pitch today.
Keeps that pitch count down. Let him go deeper into the game.
Here's Fukudome, who's 0 for 2. He's flied out and he struck out. Hit hard, backhanded on one hop by Howard. Oh, he saw that one right away, and he makes a fantastic play for the 2nd out.
All reaction. What a great play. You don't have time to think on plays like that. You're anticipating it. Look at how quick his feet is. Hand goes up. He knows he has plenty of time. That's what you call robbing a hitter. Taking a base hit away.
So quickly 2 set aside here in the 6th, and Ryan Theriot, who's 0 for 2. Takes a pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Theriot, one of those players, Tom, an overachiever. Just battles you and battles you. 52 hits coming into the game. One of his goals, he had said a couple years ago, was he wanted to hit 20 home runs.
What'd you say to him when he said that?
Told him it never happened. Told him that you'd like to try and get 200 hits and score 100 runs, and that's when he was leading off all the time. If he's able to do that, you consider that one heck of a year.
Well, it goes in on the hands, a slow dribbler right to Howard, and he'll take it to the bag himself. Another quick inning for Joe Blanton. He's gone 6 innings this afternoon. He's thrown just 54 pitches. We'll see if the top of the order can get something brewing in the bottom of the 6th. By Acura. Acura Advance by AT&T. Rethink possible by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by McDonald's. McCafe your day at McDonald's with a new McCafe Frappe. Phillies have scored just one run in the last, or excuse me, 3 runs in the last 3 games. 1 run in each of the last 3. And now as we go to the bottom of the 6th, they're trying to get something going with the top of the order. Joe Blanton has pitched beautifully through 6. Ryan Dempster, though, has done very good work for the Cubs through 5. And Victorino, who's taken a lot of pitches this afternoon, takes one to start this at-bat, so he's ahead 1 ball and no strikes.
Wow, pretty good pitch, breaking ball. You know, during the course of the season, you'll have it where the pitchers are hot, they're doing their job, and then you'll have the hitters that are carrying the pitchers. And this club, when you have everything going together, pitching and hitting, just about impossible to beat.
Oh, and right now we're in that sort of flow of the season where it's the pitching that's doing tremendous work, at least the last 3 games. And the offense, you know, Shane's 0 for 3, and he's the guy that kickstarts this offense. The offense is struggling a little bit right now.
Yeah, and most pitchers would think, man, if I can hold this club to, you know, 2 or 3 runs, they have a great chance of being able to win the ball game with the number of runs that the Fighting Phils can score.
1 out for Polanco. Reached on an infield single his first time up. Or his last time up, I should say. Flied out to right his first time up. 1 for 2. Just missed inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Coy Hill wanted an appeal to the first base umpire, but Bill Hahn said
Dempster, one of those pitchers that will pitch inside, feels confident in doing that, and still being able to throw on the outside part of the plate.
This time they say Polanco did go around. Well, he's always been a pretty light guy to have in the clubhouse, too. I mean, here's the offering for Polanco.
I don't know, for me, if he even swung on that. We call that in the dugout a makeup call.
From the last pitch, you think?
That's right. Exactly.
Hit hard. Fair ball right over the third base bag, and it's going to sneak toward the corner. Soriano misplayed it. Not that it matters, because Polanco would have been at second anyway. And the Phils have their second extra base hit of the day. 10th double of the year for Polanco. 15th extra base hit this season. And it'll bring Chase Utley to the plate.
Well, that's such good hitting right down that left field line there as it starts to hug the line. Soriano doesn't know whether or not it's going to hit out the wall, but it stays and just hugs down the line. If that ball keeps going down the line, it could almost end up at being a triple.
So an opportunity for the Phillies. They've had only 2 runners left on base today, but then again, they haven't had a whole lot of base runners overall. 5, counting the double by Polanco. Chase takes a pitch high. It's 1-0. Sergeant, I was saying that Dempster's a pretty light guy in the clubhouse. In fact, when he was with the Marlins, his pitching coach was Rich Doobie, who's the Phillies pitching coach. And that was a very young staff, and he was kind of the leader of that staff. There's Rich. And Ryan Dempster would go through a handful of impersonations, and one of the guys that he impersonated was Rich Doobie. I'm sure he threw Rich's New England accent out there when he would impersonate Doobs as he walked around.
Well, he's never lost for words, and you're right. He's one of those guys in the clubhouse. He's a practical joker. However, on the mound, he means business.
Well, when Dempster won 17 games in 2008, you know, there were a lot of people that he had to thank, and one of those guys was the guy to your right there, Rich Doobie, because, you know, Doobie was his pitching coach when he won 14 games in 2000 with Florida, 15 in 2001. He had a pretty good impact on this guy as he came through the Florida Marlins system.
Another one of those pitchers, starter, then closer, back to starting again.
He is still 5th on the Marlins all-time wins list with 42. Overall, he's won 89 games between the Marlins, the Reds, and the Cubs. Outside, 2-1 to Chase.
Normally he'll throw that split. Dempster will right now, or that fastball that would be in, hoping he's trying to get it in off that plate.
Ball kept in front of the plate by Coy Hill, holds Polanco at second base. Here's Chase in the first inning, Sarge.
Yeah, just that ball breaking down wasn't a bad pitch. Up to the task. Boy, just short and quick. Doesn't follow through. Usually stops almost after he makes contact, but by then he's generated a lot of bat hit speed.
He's got a good hitter's count now. The count 3-1. And a swing and a miss. Had a sinker from Dempster. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins lead the Cardinals 2-1. Hanley Ramirez an RBI single. Florida has won 6 of its last 7. We said that they are 3 games back right now of the Phillies in the National League East. Pulled foul right past Davey Lopes. And it remains 3-2 to Chase.
Well, there's that splitter. Shows you that he'll throw that any time.
I have to think that if Ryan Dempster impersonated Rich Doobie, you see the splits between the pitchers into the 6th inning. Was there ever a Sarge impersonation by Ryan Dempster?
You know what? I can't remember him doing it, but I'm sure that he was mimicking me. He usually does it when I'm walking. When I was there coaching with the Cubs.
Can't imagine how easy that would be. Chase stays alive again as he fouls it back.
Dempster not backing down, however, trying to get that ball in his favor, and that one was up and in. 3-2, just can't commit yourself too early.
Joe Blanton hoping that that runner in scoring position is driven home by Chase Utley or Ryan Howard, who you just saw in the on-deck circle. Chase with a few foul balls in this at-bat. The count 3-2. Inside, ball 4. 2 aboard for Howard. It's a pretty good spot now for Ryan Howard. Hey, it's time now for our Coors Light Freeze Cam. Sarge, you love hats? Well, today's Jason Worth's birthday. Some happy birthday hats. Hey, your traditional Phillies cap. Andy Rabel's got a little camouflage hat going. And how about those big lids out there? And the Fanatic's got his hot dog hat going. Of course, our friendly neighborhood vendor with the parrot on top of his hat. And there's Steve Coates getting ready for the Flyers game. Coors Light Freeze Cam. What do you think of that hat that Steve Coates was wearing? Would you wear that?
You know what? No, I would not. But those are some pretty good shots.
If Coates asked you to wear that hat, you wouldn't wear that hat?
No, sir. I'd have to be outside in a blizzard. 12 or 13 below, maybe.
Sarge, you remember that look?
Back in the day, that little afro.
Never hurt anybody?
Not quite that large, but after it came out of my cap, it almost seemed like it was like that.
Yeah, you and Oscar Gamble both.
His was larger than mine.
1 ball, no strikes the count to Ryan Howard. 2 runners aboard, a 1-1 game. Oh, boy. Ryan got a fastball. It might have been a little away for him.
A little away, maybe up in the zone. Watch his pitch as it moves away from him. You see how it tails away? That's that 2-seamer that he throws.
In the air to center field. Marlon Byrd into the alleyway. And he makes the catch. Polanco tags and goes to third. The throw is offline. It rolls off the glove of Castro, and Utley is able to get to second.
Right, that's pretty good. Utley taking a chance. However, tagging up, he was reading that ball all the way. And that's what I'm saying, where a runner can actually look at that throw, see whether or not it's going to be online or not. He took a chance. It was offline. Now here's a throw there by Marlon Byrd right over the top. As he comes, Terrio lets it go, and you can see how that was offline. That was then Chase's cue to get to second base.
Yeah, he was sort of hovering between first and second, like you said, Sarge, kind of looking to see what the angle of the throw was.
Yeah, that had been a little further over. He would have stopped and actually went back.
So two in scoring position, but 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Phillies looking for that clutch hit that'll open up the scoring here. Nice play by Hill. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, J-Ro does stand on the plate, so he's going to have to anticipate balls on the inside, and especially with 2 strikes.
Polanco at third and Utley at second base. First time since the first inning that the Phillies have had 2 runners aboard, but it's the first time overall that they've had 2 runners aboard at the same time. Charlie is hoping that Phillies can cash in, because a base hit would score 2. He lays off. It's 3-0. It's the thought process of a guy like Dempster who's thrown 21 pitches in this inning, but I got first base open, so I don't have to throw a cookie. I can see if I can get Jimmy Rollins to go fishing.
That's exactly what he did. And for me, J-Ro, if he can hit 3-0 here, he's looking for his pitch, preferably a fastball right about belt high, and don't overswing.
He does get a fastball, and he hits it in the air deep to right field. That one is gone! Phillies were looking for a clutch hit, and they got a big one. A 3-run home run for J-Roll. And the Phils now lead it 4-1. Good call on that one, Sarge.
Yeah, that's just really a great swing. Again, in the first time up there in that first inning, he struck him out on a fastball, tailing back. He got a similar pitch, not overswinging on it, driving the ball up, and anytime you get a 2-out hit, yep, that's what you call it. It's a clutch hit. In this particular case, clutch home run, and you can see he knew the ball was gone right away. So did Dempster. Those pitchers kind of get used to that sound and just kind of drop their head and ask for another ball.
Well, Jimmy Rollins' first home run since coming off the DL. That had to feel good. Phillies lead it by 3. The count 1-0 to Raul Ibanez. And he lays off. Nope, he went around. And Raul can't believe Bill Hahn just said that he swung at that one. The dugout can't believe it either.
See whether or not he goes, and no, did not go on that particular time.
And the umpire, when he says that a guy went around on a swing, he'll point.
Right.
And that's what Bill Hahn did.
Just missing pitches that he normally hits, and before it's all said and done, he's going to get hot. He's just been too good of a hitter over his career not to hit.
Swing and a miss, and Ibanez is rung up to finish up this 6th inning. But a heck of an inning for the Phils. A clutch 2-out base hit by Jimmy Rollins. A 3-run home run. The Phils have finally broke out of their 1-run spell. back here at Citizens Bank Park. Phil's lead at 4-1. Derek Lee leads it off here in the top of the 7th inning. Joe Blanton's got a 3-run lead to work with thanks to a home run by Jimmy Rollins. Derek Lee is 0 for 2 as he fouls that one back. Jimmy's home run comes on a 3-0 fastball, and he was just ready for it.
Yeah, it looked like he, you talk about dividing the plate in half when you're hitting 3-0. Well, that pitch was middle in. That's a 3-0 pitch to swing at.
In the air to left field. And Derek Lee is just 2 home runs away from 300 for his career. A solo shot, and it's now 4-2 Phillies. Five home runs now for Lee this season. There's some Cub fans that are in the yard today, and Derek Lee found one with the Ron Santo jersey.
Now, Derek Lee's hit a lot of home runs in Philadelphia throughout his career when he's with the Marlins and now with the Cubs. And boy, balls in the air today. You're waiting for a few to start flying out of here because there have been a lot of balls in the air that have been track balls. Now all of a sudden they're leaving.
Marlon Byrd, the hitter, he's 0 for 2. He lays off a curve, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. That home run allowed by Blanton, the 5th that he's allowed so far in 25 2/3 innings of work.
That's what happened the other day in that game in Milwaukee.
Hit hard on one hop, knocked down by Polanco. This was hit as hard as it was off the end of the bat. Polanco had time and throws out Byrd.
He was sailing along in that game, and then some home run balls made it a little closer than you wanted it. There's a fastball to Derek Lee with a 3-run lead, and that's a really good-looking swing right there. That one would have been on to Waveland Avenue.
Probably would have been. I was thinking that same thing. Here's Soriano. Soriano has a double and a run scored. He's also fly to the wall and left. So 1 for 2. That was only the 60th pitch that Blanton's thrown today. You know that a lot of folks talk about how many pitches per inning should a pitcher throw. And they say that 15 would be the max, the ideal max per inning. So that would give you, 105 through 7 innings. Well, he's at 61 here in the 7th inning.
Well, Cubs are aggressive. Saw that last night with Jamie Moyer. They were very aggressive against Jamie, and I think that plays to his strength when Jamie gets a team like that. And he took advantage of it. He really was hitting his spots great last night.
3-0 pitch to Soriano inside, and that's the first walk issued by Blanton. So Soriano's on first with 1 out here at the top of the 7th inning.
Well, let's check out that Verizon Wireless game summary as we are in the 7th inning already. And some home run balls here tonight, or this afternoon. All the Phillies runs on homers. Chase hit 1 in the 1st inning, a solo. And then Jimmy Rollins' 3-run home run, his 2nd of the year. Derek Lee has a solo home run. And Joe Blanton, as Tom mentioned, has a low pitch count to this point.
Mike Fontenot's the hitter, and the 5th straight ball out of the strike zone by Blanton puts the count at 1-0. Mentioned that Fontenot basically lost his job when Castro was brought up from Double-A. He had been playing second base for the Cubs. Terrio moved over to second base, and Fontenot became kind of an extra man. He's a pretty good utility guy. He plays second, short, or third. In the air, deep down the right field line, but foul. To the second deck. Lou Piniella laying down some signs in the dugout to Mike Quaddy, the third base coach.
Cubs are getting James Russell up in the bullpen, one of the 3 left-handers they have available. They're getting down near towards the bottom of the order, just in case.
The Dempster's had a fairly low pitch count through 6. But Fontenot is the number 6 batter with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Soriano leads off first. And a little looper into left field, a base hit. So the Cubs have back-to-back base runners with one gone. Hey, the Cleveland Indians will be here at the ballpark beginning Tuesday, June 22nd, a 3-game series. Gets Maniac's squad. It finishes up with another Citizens Bank Business Person Special at 1:05 on Thursday the 24th. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. And the Indians on our Toyota Major League scoreboard have lost to the Royals 9-3. Jose Guillen, a home run, 3 RBIs, 2 hits in the ball game for the Royals. Now managed by Ned Yost, the former manager of the Brewers.
Now these guys have been really aggressive early in the count today. And there you see the base runners with Soriano at second and Fontenot on at first. And this kid Castro has shown a tendency to swing first ball a lot in these 2 games. So really, I don't think we want to throw him a fastball near the strike zone here in the first pitch.
He's got a base hit and an RBI today, and he throws a breaking ball, and it's over for strike 1. It's 0-1. Castro has a couple hits in the series.
Well, you can see what a raw talent he is. He got a lot of ability.
Slow roller up the third base line. That's going to be a tough play. Polanco barehands and throws. Not in time. Castro just beats it. So the bases are now loaded for the Cubs.
Ryan Howard come off that bag trying to get the call. It was really close. I think Polanco thought they were going to get him whether he did that little cheat or not. Great play by Placido.
Boy, once he released it, I thought they were going to get him too. He had a lot on that throw. I think he got him. Looking at the replay. Now the first base umpire Gary Darling did not signal that Ryan Howard came off the bag. As Rich Doobie's going to go out to the mound. Let's take another look at this play. Yeah, he had him.
I thought he was out. Castro's hurting a little bit down at first base right now too. As Rich Doobie comes out to have a conversation, Castro's down there with his hands on his knees. Ivan De Jesus just motioned towards the dugout, and they may need a runner.
Well, they're going to have a pinch hitter. There's De Jesus and Castro, and I think somebody said something to De Jesus. Obviously, it made him laugh.
I saw him this morning. He says, "I hear you call me by my nickname." I said, "Oh yeah, we're calling you El Popo." What a good guy. That guy never ages.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks exactly the same facially. So the bases are now loaded with one out. Tyler Colvin will pinch hit for the Cubs, and Coy Hill. Ryan Dempster's in the on deck circle for Chicago. Soriano's on third. Fontenot's on second, and Castro is at first. Phillies play the infield a double play depth. In the air to straightaway center field. That's pretty well hit. That's going to get a run home. Victorino makes the catch. Fontenot tags from second as the throw comes into second. Crossing the plate, Alfonso Soriano, and this is a 1-run game. So now Blanton needs to get the next hitter, whether it be Ryan Dempster or a pinch hitter. Dempster's just sitting there waiting. He's thinking he's going to be pinch hit for.
Well, you would think they would hit for him here.
Yeah, he's going back down the dugout stairs. His day is done.
Well, they just used up the one left-handed bat they have, but they have all right-handed hitters now.
So Xavier Nady is going to pinch hit. I thought maybe Giovanni Soto would pinch hit just because Colvin pinch hit for Coy Hill. And you figure Soto's going to come into the ballgame.
Yeah, they're going to use another player here by using Nady. That's your point being, if you use Soto, you don't want to be using one move.
Right. Now, Aramis Ramirez might be available to pinch hit, the Cubs' normal third baseman, but he hurt his thumb yesterday on a swing, so I'm not sure how healthy he is. But it will be Nady, who had a pinch hit, 2-run base hit yesterday for the Cubs. So Nady, a .212 hitter, a home run and 10 runs batted in. Batting with a runner at third, a runner at first.
Appreciate with that very close play at first base, they'd be out of the inning with just one run.
Pitched at 80, popped up. Shallow left center field. Rollins backpedaling, sees it, makes the catch. So Blanton does allow 2 runs in the inning. It starts with a home run by Derek Lee. He strands 2. Time to stretch here in Philly with the Phillies up by 1. Answer. Wheels, here's the question one more time. Can you name the 2 pitchers that struck out their 3,000th batter while in a Cubs uniform?
Ferguson Jenkins has to be one.
Ferguson Jenkins is correct.
Now, you said there's a Phillies connection.
There is.
And the only thing I can think of, this guy went for his 300th win against the Phillies, didn't get it, but did he strike out his 3,000th batter? Greg Maddux?
Greg Maddux would be correct. You know the Phillies connection? That was what you thought was the Phillies connection. His brother Mike played for the Phillies.
Oh.
Ferguson Jenkins played for the Phils.
Okay.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge. Stump the fans.
I remember that day in Chicago. You were there when Maddux went after his 300th win.
I still have the program.
It was a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I still have the program.
What do you have, a no decision that day, maybe?
I don't remember. But
they beat him or not. Yeah.
He didn't get his 300 that day. James Russell is the new pitcher. His 15th ball game. Yeah, I figured I'd tell you that there was a Phillies connection to kind of throw you off the path a little bit.
You're not rooting for me on these anymore.
Yeah, just having some fun.
It's because I got hot. It's Bastardo and Baez. Well, that did throw me off because I'm thinking, well, maybe Maddux got that 3,000th against the Phillies. I don't remember that. By the way, I was wrong last night. I'd like to correct something. Greg Castriato let me know about, Phillies PR guy. That was the inside the Parker that Pagan got was off Pedro, not Lee.
Francisco lines one into left, a base hit. And he's aboard as a pinch hitter for Ross Glode. Hey, these lucky fans are today's Citizen 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. So a runner aboard on the pinch hit single by Ben Francisco against lefty James Russell. And here's Paul Hoover, who is hitless at 2 at-bats. He's grounded into a double play, and he's popped to second. Phillies 4, Cubs 3.
Looking for more because the ball's starting to fly here. It's getting warm.
Throw over, and diving back is Francisco. Russell is a 24-year-old. who was out of Collegeville, Texas. 14th round selection by the Cubs back in 2007.
Sure, the Cubbies are headed tonight to Texas for a little interleague play with the Rangers.
And Hoover takes one at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Last year, he pitched to AA and AAA. Won 5 games, lost 6 at an earned run average of just over 4 combined. He was a reliever some of the time, a starter some of the time. He is out of the University of Texas.
Jason Wirtz down there with a bat. Joe Blanton is in the on-deck circle, but Wirtz is right behind him. Now, if Hoover's going to bunt, that obviously means they're going to hit for Blanton. There's Jason.
Charlie trying to get another run here. Cubs think that Francisco might be off on this pitch. They've thrown over a couple times.
Yeah, and they're also looking, even though it's 0-2, they took a look in. As soon as he threw over, he took a look in at Hoover to see if he was going to square again. See if they're going to keep the bunt on with 2 strikes.
And Hoover's not bunting, at least at this moment. He takes a pitch high. It's 1-2.
Seen Russell before, but he's supposed to be fastball, changeup, curveball. Or fastball, slider, changeup.
His numbers against righties are better than his numbers against lefties, average-wise. Could be the amount of hitters that he's faced, too. And the 1-2 pitch. Lifted in the air, shallow right field. Fukudome makes the catch, and back to first goes Francisco. And one away here in the 7th. Well, the Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays will get together for a 3-game series now here at the ballpark, beginning Friday, June 25th. That series was originally scheduled for Toronto. Tickets will go on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. Log on to Phillies.com to check the latest information on that series. The Phils and the Blue Jays right here in Philadelphia. That reaction from the crowd is from the fans who came to wish Jason Wirth a happy birthday. And Wirth will get a chance to pinch hit here at the bottom of the 7th inning, but it won't be against James Russell. They're going to bring the right-hander Jeff Stevens into the ballgame to face Wirth. So Wirth has been introduced as a pinch hitter. He'll stay in, even with the right-hander coming in. At least I assume he will. So Jeff Stevens, who was just called up from the minor leagues at the start of this series, he'll be the new pitcher for the Cubs. It's an AT&T call to the bullpen. Phils have a base runner here in the bottom of the 7th, leading it by 1. Of the Phils' quick 2-game series against the Cubs, plus multiple reports from Montreal, previewing the Flyers Game 3 clash with the Canadiens. And here for the Eagles' #1 pick, Brandon Graham, live in studio. All tonight on Daily News Live, coming up at 5 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. I saw Brandon Graham in person one game this year. I saw the Ohio State-Michigan ball game, and he is an active young man.
Oh, he's a good player. You know what? I did see him in person.
Did he scare you?
Oh, he's really good. He's a defensive end, wasn't he, in college, or linebacker?
He was a linebacker in college.
I'll tell you what he was. He was a sideline-to-sideline chasing guy. He was quick. A disruptor is one of the new terms in football, I think, and he was a disruptor.
Well, Jeff Stevens comes out of the bullpen for the Cubs to face Jason Worth. Saw Stevens' numbers at AAA Iowa. He was added to the roster yesterday before the ball game. And Jason, who was celebrating a birthday today, May 20th, 1979 is when Jason was born. You see his numbers as a pinch hitter.
That was the year of the We Are Family Pirates.
And the first pitch came back a little bit, but it's inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
This guy threw fastball, slider, and 1 changeup warming up.
That's pretty good velocity on that last pitch to Worth. Francisco leads off first.
A lot of strikeouts in the minor leagues.
In the air to right center field. Marlon Byrd over it to the alleyway. Marlon's been acting like he hasn't seen the ball the last couple of times, like Ryan Howard earlier in the game, trying to disrupt the base runner. But he makes the catch. 2 outs. And back to the top of the order.
Well, it looks like the toughest sun is towards right center. Anything on that side of the field, that's where Fontenot one time had his hand up in the air on a pop-up to second baseman, or Terrio for the Cubs, and Ryan Howard lost one over there. And they seem to be fighting a little bit on the right side. No clouds in the sky today. The classic high sky, toughest sky for a fly ball.
Victorino's 0 for 3, and he fouls the first pitch off. Sarge was saying, too, the angles in which the ball goes up and comes down are difficult for the fielders. He thought the angle that Ryan Howard had was worse than the angle that Ryan Terrio had because of where the ball was located. I guess in a sky like this, any advantage would help.
Well, when there are no clouds, there's nothing to bounce it off for the fielders. They want something else up there besides just a blue sky like this. And as you see, it's just gorgeous here. But that's very difficult. Then if you factor in a lot of wind, it can really be a problem. Now the wind today is okay. It's not a huge factor.
And the toss over, and Francisco is back without a tag.
These are the kind of skies you get in Florida a lot during spring training, but with the wind blowing, and it is murder on guys trying to catch balls in the air.
Francisco goes, pitches, hit toward left field. Soriano got a good jump at it, and he gallops at the end with that patented leap that he says he wasn't doing anymore, and he makes the catch. So Francisco stranded at first here in the 7th. We've completed 7 in Philadelphia. Phillies lead it by 1. Fukudome leading it off. panic prices. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEF now. By Toyota. Toyota's national sales event is going on now. Hurry into your Toyota dealer today. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly. Got a couple changes for the Phillies as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Jason Worth stays in the game to play right field. And coming into the ballgame to pitch is Antonio Bastardo. And he'll take over for Joe Blanton, who went 7 innings today. He allowed 3 runs. Blanton did. On 5 base hits. Bastardo's 9th game. No wins, no losses. A 1.42 earned run average. He threw the ball quite well in his last outing.
Right, he threw that in that game when he had the big lead, and now they're going to trust him in a 1-run game here in the 8th inning. This is a totally different world, and this is the world they want to get Antonio Bastardo in and be confident to be able to use him in games like this.
Top of the order is up for the Cubs. Fukudome, Terrio, and Derek Lee. 6 outs. And the Phils trying to finish off the Cubs in this 2-game series. Fukudome takes a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Fukudome flied out to right in the 1st inning, struck out looking in the 4th, and grounded out his last time up. Tries to lay off on a slider. They don't appeal. Now they do. No swing, says the third base umpire, Paul Emmel. Fastball on the hands, and it's 1-2. Fukudome this year is 2 for 10 against lefties. Most of his at-bats have come against right-handed pitching. In fact, he's a 200 hitter against lefties, and he's a 333 hitter against right-handed pitching. Or I should say a 324 hitter against right-handed pitching. In the air to right field. Worth on the run. Doesn't have the distance. This ball game is tied. A leadoff home run for Kosuke Fukudome here in the 8th inning. And it's a 4-4 game.
He threw sliders and then threw a fastball middle in. Boy, he turned on that in a hurry. He has some power. He was in there to get Fukudome out. He couldn't do it. There it is. That's what. Fastball a little bit up and out over the plate, and he hits it out. That's my point. You know, it's a big difference when you come into a game with a big lead, and when you come into this kind of game, you're trying to find out about somebody, and unfortunately, in this instance, he wasn't able to get it done.
So Charlie Manuel out to the mound to take the baseball from Bastardo. Denny Baez is already heading into the game. We're all even at 4 here at the top of the 8th inning. We'll be back after this. It includes not only discounted airfare, but 3 nights accommodations in San Diego's Gaslamp District. It is a great place to go. These Phillies road trips have been very successful over the years. Chicago and San Francisco get a chance to hang with the Bull and a lot of other things. Again, it's a great opportunity to see the Phils on the road. Donis Baez is the new pitcher for the Phillies, and he quickly falls behind 2-0 to Ryan Theriot. You see Baez's numbers. 19th ball game, 1 win, 1 loss, a 5.29 earned run average. And now it's 3-0. Theriot is 0 for 3. He's grounded out 3 times. Charlie Manuel is hoping for a little different result from the pen here. A home run by Antonio Pistardo, or allowed by Antonio Pistardo, has tied this game up at 4. Now it's a brand new game. Danny Baez leads the Phillies bullpen in appearances. This is his 19th. And he may have broken Theriot's bat. Slow roller to Polanco, and he gets the out. There have been 4 different games this year where Baez has allowed all of his runs. In fact, in those 4 games, he's allowed 9 earned runs. But he has had spurts where he's pitched really well out of the pen, and his stuff has been electric.
Well, it's all about strikes. This with so many pitchers, but especially Baez.
Little pop up over near Chase Utley, who's shielding his eyes from the sun. Back-to-back pitches, back-to-back outs. Time now for our Home Depot defensive play of the game. Boy, Ryan Howard made a heck of a play on this ball.
Yeah, this is Fukudoma, and he hit a bullet down the line, and Ryan Howard right there on that big hop made a terrific reaction play. And that is our Home Depot defensive play of the game.
Home Depot doing more on defense. 2 outs, Marlon Byrd the hitter. Placido Polanco is going to get ready over at third because Bird's hit the ball to him 3 straight times. And Baez throws 195 right on the inner half, and it's 0-1. Phils have a chance to maybe pick up a game on the Marlins if they could pull this one out. Marlins are trailing right now to the Cardinals 4-2. It's early, and Charlie knows that better than anybody, but get a little breathing room against the teams in your division at this point, because you've got 3 big series coming up after this Red Sox one this weekend on the road against teams in the National League East.
Right, and that's the whole key, is to win your home games too. You know, the Phillies are a good road team, but that'll catch up to you every once in a while. And you got to win your home games, and you know they had all the momentum in this game with a 3-run lead late, and they've given it back.
Here comes the 2-1 to Bird. That's in there for a strike, and it's 2-2. And Baez fooled Bird with his selection of pitches.
Well, he's throwing him a lot of fastballs, and you know we've talked about Danny's. He can make hitters uncomfortable because he's a little wild in that strike zone, especially these right-handed hitters, and he backs them off, and then he'll throw a real good fastball away.
And a swing and a miss. Bird is down on strikes. He is hitless now in this series. So after the home run by Fukudome, Baez comes on, gets the next 3 batters. We head to the bottom of the 8th. It's Placido Polanco, Chase Utley, and Ryan Howard due up for the Phils. Broadcast Network. And don't forget also, Phillies action on Comcast Sportsnet continues with interleague play against the Red Sox. Tune in Friday night at 6:30 for Phillies pregame live right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Pitching matchups have been tossed out there for this series against the Red Sox. And with Josh Beckett going on the disabled list on Sunday, Tim Wakefield will start Sunday afternoon's game against Roy Halladay. So a matchup of two guys that I'm sure have faced each other a number of times.
It was supposed to be Beckett, but Beckett went on the DL with a sore back.
Here are the matchups for that series. Lackey against Cole on Friday night. It's a good matchup.
How about Phillies could conceivably see two knuckleballers in consecutive series, because the Mets brought that
R.A.
Dickey up, and he's a knuckleballer.
Yep.
And he's in their rotation, I guess. I don't know if they know what their rotation is with the problems they have. But he pitched last night, which means he would be one of the guys you'd see next week. Two knuckleballers.
Some managers think the knuckleballers knock you into a slump.
Well, you just don't see them anymore. You know, anymore. It's been years and years since, you know, when you used to see the Negros. There's Contreras, who, I don't know, they're considering using him even if it's a tie game, because you use your closer at home in a tie game. You don't use them on the road very often because they have to pitch 2 innings then.
3-1 the count to Polanco as he takes a fastball for a strike. Chase Utley waits on deck. Cubs do have a left-hander in their pen.
And this could be just like what Bastardo just won. This could be one hitter here for Stevens in this inning.
Stevens retired Jason Worth and Shane Victorino to finish off the 7th. And a fastball in the inside corner for strike 2 to Polanco. 3-2 the count. The left-hander is John Graybo, who we saw last night for the Cubs. And now the 3-2 pitch to Polanco. Swung on, chopped towards shortstop. Castro backs up on it. And he throws out Placido for out number 1. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Lou Piniella should be heading to the mound by now. He is. It'll take him a little while, though. He kind of saunters out to the hill.
His own pace.
He's already signaled 4 times to the pen, just in case Graybo didn't see him. And Graybo could be at the mound by the time Piniella gets to the mound. Well, here he comes. That's going to be it for Jeff Stevens. So another pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. 1 man down, bottom of the 8th, game tied at 4. And the Cubs came back to tie it in the 5th inning at 1. Phillies took a 4-1 lead on a 3-run home run by Jimmy Rollins. The Cubs have scored 3 runs in the last 2 innings. And now, as we have 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning, John Graybo into his 20th game. 2nd time in this series he's appeared. No wins, 2 losses, an 8.22 earned run average. And he'll face Chase Utley and then Ryan Howard. Chase today has been on base twice. He's homered. He has scored 2 runs. And he has really good numbers for his career against Graybo. 4 runs the Phillies have scored today on the long ball. Lou Pinella's team has 2 homers today, both solo shots. And it's outside for ball 2. Bravo was good last night. He made a very good defensive play on a ball hit by Ryan Howard. Phillies wound up scoring a run on the play. But you saw his numbers. I mean, he is not pitched that well for the Cubs. And Ryan waiting on deck. But his numbers are very different against lefties compared to righties. And he throws a fastball for strike 1. Hard but foul. Just made that guy's day. Chase fouls it off his foot. He remains alive here in the 8th inning. Giovanni Soto, the catcher, walks up in front of the plate. He and Bill Hahn can chase a few moments before they get this thing rolling again. Did he go? They'll appeal. No, says the third base umpire, Paul Emmel. Chase was already halfway up the first baseline when they appealed, so he walked for the second time.
Let's see what they do with their defense with a runner on at first base. They do have Castro over on the other side of second base, so there aren't 3 fielders over there. You know, sometimes with Howard lately they've been leaving the short. Now he's moving back a little bit. Now, see where he is now. He's moved just from here to here. So it gives him a little more room to shoot a ball through that area.
Kind of an odd angle, too, if there's a ground ball, let's say, to Fontenot to turn a double play. And Ryan lifts it towards straightaway center field. Marlon Byrd taking a odd route to that ball, but he makes the catch. Henley is back to first.
Ryan Howard's had a couple first swings today. Not for a second. Last time was on a changeup. That would look like he got out front of that one, hit it right off the end of the bat, too. And it had top spin, and that's what fooled Marlon Byrd. Here's Jimmy Rollins. Last time up in a tie game with 2 on, the 3-0 count, and Dempster got a pitch middle into him, and bang, hit it out of the ballpark. Gave the Phillies a 4-1 lead, but it's now 4-4.
So Jimmy batting right-handed now, batted left-handed his last time up. And the first pitch, a breaking ball outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, that's the thing about a guy like Jimmy Rollins coming back from so much inactivity. He has to get his swing from both sides of the plate.
Little cue shot up the first baseline, and it's going to stay foul.
Graybo got an out just like that last night on the same pitch, a changeup to Victorino that he took that big swing at and then just nubbed it off the end of the bat. Shane kept his fair, and Jimmy thankfully hit that one foul. That's what he is so far against right-handed pitching or left-handed pitching. There's Shane.
Tries to hold his swing. He does, and the pitch is off the outside corner. 2-1 to Jimmy. Toss over to first. Way outside. 3-1 the count.
Well, they don't want to necessarily put the winning run at second base, but they do have a left coming up with Raul on deck, Ibanez, who waits. And Jimmy Rollins ahead in the count 3-1. He wants to lock in now, just like he did last time.
Utley goes, pitches outside for ball 4, 2 aboard here in the 8th inning. So 2 walks by Graybo. And this one was more the unintentional, intentional kind, where he was like, all right, well, I'm not going to throw a strike, as Will said, because Ibanez is due up next.
And he threw him a changeup too, Tom, 3-1, and that right on top of your point there, that's what he did do, because he figured, I'm going to take my chances left, even though I've just put the potential go-ahead run in scoring position.
So Raul today singled his first time up, flied out to center in the 4th, and struck out. He's got 2 runners aboard.
Hans headed over towards the Phillies dugout with his lineup card out.
Well, I wonder if he had somebody different in that slot. You know, when the Phillies put Jason Worth in the ball game. Ben Francisco pinch hit for Ross Gload in the 7th inning.
But that's the next hole.
Right. But I'm wondering if he marked it down wrong. If he put Francisco in for Ibanez and just marked it down wrong.
Yeah, because Ibanez has never left the game.
That lineup card for the Phillies is double checked over and over again.
You know,
make sure there are no mistakes.
See the one Bill Hahn has there? That's the official lineup card that they hand. You know, there's copies of it, and multiple copies of it, and the umpires get them at the beginning of the game.
Oh, Gary Darling now has been called over. He's the crew chief. He must have a discrepancy with the Phillies lineup card and where Francisco batted in the last inning. That's the only thing I could think of, Wheels.
Yeah, and if Ibanez has never left the game.
Nope.
Yeah, see there's that card right there. What happens is the manager before the game will fill out copies, and there's several of them made, and then they hand them out before the game. Now Lou Pinella's coming over to Hahn like, we got this figured out, but what do you have?
I think Bill Hahn's saying that he may have screwed that one up.
Yes.
I think that's what he mouthed to Lou Pinella.
Yeah.
Lou's saying, that's all right, Bill. He'll make mistakes.
Yeah, and we know Ibanez didn't leave the game. He can hit here. Everything's good.
All right, so we'll just assume for the time being that was the issue.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
Raul came up to the plate. Bill Hahn probably said to him, hey, I thought you were done for the day.
What are you doing here?
Ibanez 1 for 3. 2 runners on. Here at the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 outs. He lays off a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, they're going to play him towards left center, pitch him away, play him away. Big gap in right center and also down the line in right field. See a little bit of an overshift defense there for the Cubs in the outfield, and then playing with the pull hitter in the infield.
That one came back over, so it's 1-1. Raul is just 8 for 40 against lefties this year.
Good slider.
Another slider, and this time he lays off. It's 2-1. You know, Utley goes back to second, over to first. Rollins, and you know, last year Raul Ibanez did so many good things offensively, and his work against left-handers was outstanding. And this year he has just 1 homer against lefties, and that's, you know, part of the storyline this year with his struggles offensively.
Yeah, and right now he's just looking to dunk one somewhere.
And he lines one into right field, a base hit. Rounding third, heading for him is Utley. Fukudome double clutch. The throw is offline, and Chase slides in safely. An RBI single for Raul Ibanez. That's only his 9th hit against a left-hander this year, but it's a big one. And the Phillies have a 1-run lead.
And Chase Utley off in the crack of the bat. You know, that would have been a tough ball to run on if it were only 1 out, because it was lined near the second baseman. But he's able to go with 2 outs. And as Tom said, it looked like Fukudome. There he goes. He took an extra step, maybe 2 extra steps. And by that time, with a guy like Utley running and getting the jump on 2 strikes, he scores. That ball was hit so hard right at the right fielder. They should have had a play at the plate. But because of the fact that Fukudome looked like he couldn't get a grip on it, took those extra steps, Chase scored easily.
How about the tight turn by Chase around third also? I mean, really good technique to cut off a few steps to the plate. Here's Castro pitch hitting. Phillies are down to just Castro and Ruiz as right-handed hitters.
See, they're right. He just couldn't get a grip on it. And by the time he finally did, then he throws a slider. Ball cutting away from the catcher up the line, and Chase scored easily. No play on it.
Throw over to first. Ibanez is back standing. So Raul 2 for 4.
Fukudome had that thing on one quick hop, and Utley was barely at third base. But there's no way Sam Perlaza wasn't going to wave him there.
Outside, 2-0. This is the pitcher spot in the Phillies lineup, the 7-hole. That's why Castro is batting. So Jose Contreras is loosening up in the pen. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, out to the mound in the middle of this count. A lot of times you'll see a pitching coach do this if a guy's really struggling. You know, Graybo has 12 balls to his 7 strikes.
Well, you know, and it's a good time to come out because even though they're on the road, one-run games are so different than when you allow a team to get another run. So he knows how important it is for them to keep the runner at third base to keep Jimmy over there, Jimmy Rollins at third.
How about as he turned and walked back to the dugout, he said, "Let's go."
Lou's not happy.
Happy Lou is a happy team. 2-0 the count to Castro. And he's taking all the way, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Castro overall hitting .265.
Well, that had to be a good feeling for Raul Ibanez to get that big hit there off a left-hander. And he hit it hard, too. Almost hit it too hard. Graybo loves to throw that changeup to right-handed batters. He just got one over. He pitched around Rollins before that hit.
Off the end of the bat toward the hole at shortstop. Castro throws to second in time to get Ibanez. The Phillies, though, take the lead. An RBI single by Raul Ibanez. Who did it score? Well, it scored Chase Utley, who read it right off the bat. Tight turn around third, heading for the plate, slides in safely. The Phils with a 1-run lead as we go to the 9th. Is a 1-run lead as we go to the top of the 9th inning. And Jose Contreras will try to save this one for the Phils as they could earn a split of this 2-game series against the Cubs. 16th game for Jose, 2-1, an earned run average of 0.68. And he will face Alfonso Soriano, Mike Futno, and Starlin Castro here in the top of the 9th inning. Contreras today will try to pick up his second save of the year. He only has had one save opportunity since taking over the closer's role for the injured Brad Lidge. Now, Contreras has faced a number of these Cubs because of the crosstown rivalry between the White Sox and the Cubs each year during interleague play. In fact, these guys have a pretty good body of work against him, including Soriano, who has 12 career at-bats against Jose Contreras. He's 5 for 12 against him. He has scored 2 runs today. A double and a run scored in the 5th, a walk and a run scored in the 7th. So here we go. The Phils try to pick up a 1-run victory. Contreras has not worked since the Brewers series. And his first pitch is low, 1 ball and no strikes. You kind of think about Contreras and how much of an asset he's going to be this year for the Phillies, because it's his first full year as a relief pitcher. Split the season last year as a starter, which was for most of the year.
And in a different world right now when you come in these kind of situations.
Off the inside corner, 2-0.
You know, he has the ability to do it. They just don't know whether or not he can until you run him out there a bunch of times. And, you know, you have the 1-run game like this, there's no margin for error.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1.
He's not swinging for a single either, not this guy. But Alfonso Soriano each wants to tie the game up. Oof.
Well, of his 5 hits against Contreras, 3 have been home runs. He went to the wall back in the 2nd inning against Joe Blanton. And the 2-1 pitch. And a chopper foul. It's 2-2.
That's that run and sinker that Contreras can throw. That one was 96, and it has unbelievable movement. And he broke his bat. It came right in on his hands.
Paul Hoover, who is catching a lot of these pitchers for the first time this past week. I was talking the other day about making sure that he got a bullpen session with a couple of the pitchers when he got called up from AAA. He caught these guys in spring training a little bit too, but he said it is different. You do kind of got to get used to what they like to throw and how they throw it.
And here's the point: do you throw fast, keep throwing fastballs here, or do you throw that split 2-2?
We'll find out. Here it comes. Inside, it nearly hit him. He came back with the fastball. It just kept barreling in on the hands of Soriano.
Well, his fastball really runs.
Mike Fontenot's on deck. In the air, foul over the first base side.
He just keeps challenging him. No splits, no sliders, fastballs.
So what first batters have done against Contreras, who is now 38 years old. Charlie Manuel added not only Baez but Contreras during this offseason. 2 hard throwers. And again the payoff pitch. Swing and a foul ball right at home plate.
Right off his puppy. Ouch. That ball has so much movement down and into these right-handed hitters. And that one was chasing him, and he swung it and hit it right off his foot. Watch this. Oh, man.
I think it hit his knee and then his foot.
Hit his knee.
His back knee. Soriano, who the Cubs have credited with helping along Starlin Castro, their 20-year-old shortstop. Castro lives with Soriano in Chicago, and he's kind of helped him get the understanding of what it's like to be a major leaguer.
See, Soriano has that guard on that front foot.
It didn't help.
That didn't help when you hit your back knee, and you know where this pitch is going.
He's fouled off the last 2 3-2 pitches.
Soriano still hurt. But there's no reason to think they're not going to run another fastball in there. And the odds are he'll take it if he can throw it for a strike. Not him. Not his odds.
That ball right off the netting of the dugout. Right in front of Lou Piniella. Pinella's pointing to fair territory. So, hey, hit it over there.
Well, it's hard for a right-handed hitter to hit a ball that hard, that foul. I mean, you think how much you had to get out front to do that. Lou figures I'm safe here with this guy up.
Another foul ball. That's 4 fouls now by Soriano.
It's great at bat. Heck of a battle.
This will be the 10th pitch of this at bat between Contreras and Soriano. Jose, who made 7 starts in his career against the Cubs while with the Yankees and the White Sox. In the air toward left field. That's hooking foul.
Broke another bat, I think.
I think you're right. Just pointed to the dugout.
Beat his legs up. Broken 2 bats, and this at bat keeps going. This is good stuff. Look at that bat.
I don't know if he has any more in the bat rack. I think they're waiting to go down the tunnel to get another one. That's a pretty big piece of lumber right there for Soriano.
Well, it's not like he can use somebody else's bats.
Nope, it's totally different. Now that is Yoshi Nakazawa, who is the team masseuse for the Cubs. He's not the normal bat boy. Cubs started winning games or were on a losing streak, so
that might be one of Fukudomi's bats right there. You know that he's taken care of.
Remember last year, Wheels, when the Phillies were struggling a little bit, Ali Modami, who's their bullpen pitcher, was the bat boy a few times. Well, that's what Lou Piniella and the Cubs did with Nakazawa, the team masseuse. Well, they've won 4 in a row, so he's remained the bat boy. So Mike Chernow, who's the normal bat boy for the visiting teams here at Citizens Bank Park, all he does is chase after foul balls. 3-2 the count to Soriano. Contreras, pitch number 11 in this at bat. Inside and hit him. And Soriano, who was probably expecting something inside, got one a little farther inside than even he thought. So a base runner here in the 9th with a 1-run lead for the Phillies.
Well, everything was running in on him. He kept throwing fastball after fastball, and he finally hits him. That was some at bat. That was a great battle. 2 broken bats, a ball off his knee, and he finally gets hit.
Soriano doesn't run well anyway. Thought maybe Jeff Baker might pinch run for him if his foot still bother him and his legs still bother him. Here's Fontenot.
Yeah, there was a time when Soriano would steal a bag right now.
Easily. See Fontenot's numbers against Contreras, 4 for 11. And a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count.
So he's going to cheat up the middle for a double play. Big hole on the right side. Normal defense that you would have now. And they want the double play, but they're actually a little deeper than double play depth, I think, because they'll take an out here and keep the force in order.
This is the 32nd appearance that Contreras has made as a relief pitcher during his career. And you see so far this year, no double plays, 6 chances to turn a double play. And a toss over. Charlie Manuel and Lou Piniella, these guys have known each other for a long time. And 2-1. I don't know if that pitch crossed Hoover up, if he was thinking it was going to drop down a little bit more, but it was a slider that hung.
He had a funny reach for it, that's for sure. Normally you don't cross a guy up when there's nobody at second base. But yeah, whether he just misread the depth of that or what he thought the depth was going to be, it's hard to tell.
2-1 the count now to Fontenot. Soriano doesn't go. Pitch is down low. 3-1. Early on in the ball game, Charlie Manuel probably sitting in that same seat, saw that pitch called a strike by Bill Hahn. It may have been a little farther away than some of those pitches earlier in the game.
Nice to throw that splitter to left-handed hitters, but tough spot here with a 3-2 count. Nobody out and a runner on base.
Soriano leads off first. He got a few words from Ivan De Jesus before he took his lead. Soriano goes. 3-2 pitch, swung on and fouled. Soriano, at one point in his career, stole 40 bases in a season. He did it twice, back in 01 and 02 with the Yankees. Last year, he stole just 9 bags, and it was in 2008 when he hurt his quad. And, you know, he has not been the same since maybe it was 2007.
Yeah, and what they're doing right now is putting him in motion on this count to stay out of a double play.
See if he goes again. He does. Payoff pitch. Swung on. Line towards center field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Soriano's heading to third. The throw by Victorino offline. And the Cubs have runners on first and third with nobody out here in the 9th inning.
And that's when you start a runner like that, something good can come out of it, and it did.
With that no doubles defense, there's no chance for Shane to come in and make that catch on that ball.
They're probably going to put a runner in for Soriano now. Here it is. Soriano is running on the count to stay out of a double play, reads it, and goes to third. Now, nice job there by Polanco to really come forward for that. No chance for a play at third. There's Soriano just checking it out. But what Polanco does really well here is come forward and make sure that Fontenot stays at first. What was that all about?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they were going to pinch run for Soriano. Lou Piniella came out to talk to Bill Hahn, and he was pointing.
Me too.
Toward third base, but I guess he decided to keep him in. As we said, he does have Jeff Baker available. Ramos Ramirez is in the on-deck circle. He's also available.
Phillies have the infield double play depth, so they're willing to give up the tying run for 2 outs at home.
There's Soriano at third. Starlin Castro, who has 2 RBIs in the series, 2 hits today. One was an infield hit. He's at the plate. A swing and a foul ball, and it's 0-1. Castro's never faced Jose Contreras.
Giovanni Soto on deck, another right-handed hitter. Coy Hill started the game. Ramirez is down there to come out to pinch hit. You were talking about that earlier, Tom, whether or not you thought he could do it or not. And they had put the pitcher in that spot. Soto's 9.
Well, a strikeout would be big here to put that double play in order with 1 down, runners on first and third.
Well, he threw the split there to him. You know, he hasn't been in spots that throw that split that much today. But you got a young, aggressive hitter right now. You could go up with a fastball or down with a splitter and try and strike him out. Because he will chase, you would think.
0-2 the count. The pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Hoover. Strikeout number 1 for Contreras.
Still a breaking ball. See, that's where you just play on the aggressiveness of a 20-year-old there. And the whole key is to get ahead in the count and then be able to throw a non-strike and hope he'll chase it, and he did. Don't want to throw a strike. No need to throw a strike. He doesn't, and he chases.
You know what? I said he got a piece of it. I don't think he did. It looked like there was movement, but it was movement on the way the ball was coming to the plate on that slider. So Contreras has 1 gone with 2 aboard here in the 9th inning. Phillies lead it by 1. And Aramis Ramirez, the batter. Ramirez pinch hitting. 7 for 17 in his career against Contreras. And a swing and a miss and another breaking ball. Another slider. Well, these Cubs hitters have some good numbers against Jose. Saw the 7 hits that Ramirez has against him. 4 are homers. He's got a sore thumb, though, which he injured in last night's game, taking a swing. They're going to work him away again. Way outside, 1-1. Again, Soriano's over at third, taking his lead. Fontenot's over at first.
Double play depth again for the middle infielders, Rollins and Utley.
Chopper toward third, a foul ball. So, 2 strikes against Ramirez. Stomachs are churning here at Citizens Bank Park.
That's another situation where you don't throw a strike necessarily. You try to throw something they'll chase. And he has chase pitches. He has that split and he has that slider.
Kind of trick pitches.
Yeah, well, they're great pitches to throw for non-strikes when you're ahead.
He's already got 1 strikeout. Runners on the corners. The 1-2 pitch to Ramirez. Swing and a pop-up. Foul territory. That'll be back into the seats.
Challenge them.
Fastball in the low 90s from Contreras.
Looks like he's trying to throw a sinker there and get a double play. There it is. And it did sink, but his fastball does sink anyway and runs in. But that got way too much of the plate for 2 strikes. And Contreras knows that. Don't want to make that good a pitch when you have a guy buried like this.
Again, he's ahead of Ramirez. Inside, he nearly hit him. 2-2 the count. He hit 1 batter. That was Soriano after an 11 pitch at bat.
See, one problem with pitching in these situations, if you hit a guy, then you got more problems.
No edges off first. Soriano edges off third. And now the 2-2 pitch coming to Ramirez. Trying to sneak that one on the inside part of the plate.
Like a backup slider. He didn't mean to do that. Almost got the call too. Watch this thing where it's supposed. It's a breaking ball, but look, you see it back up.
Oh, Contreras wanted that one. He doesn't always show a lot of motion either.
No. Well, that ball reacts like that. That can fool everybody. If they run again.
Fontenot does go. Swing and a miss. He got him. Hoover fakes the throw to second. Ramirez is down on strikes, 2 away.
That was a great slider.
Well, they'll give a stolen base to Fontenot on that one, his first of the year.
Throws a 3-2 slider, a non-strike, way out of the strike zone, and Ramirez chases. He's swinging fastball all the way. Now, as Tom says, watch what Hoover does here. He has no intention of throwing that ball at second base, and all he hoped there is if he made a real good fake, maybe Soriano would wander at third. He did not.
So Soriano's at third, Fontenot's at second. 2 gone here at the top of the 9th inning. On a tough homestand, the Phillies are trying to pick up a tough win. They lead it by 1. They've led it 3 different times, and Jose Contreras in a tight spot against Giovanni Soto. A 500 hitter against Contreras in his career with a couple of homers. And a swing and a miss at the first fastball at 94. It's 0-1. Well, the infield could settle all the way back now. In fact, Utley's on the edge of the outfield grass. The 0-1 pitch to Soto. Inside.
Right, all you're trying to do now is if there's a ground ball hit to knock it down and keep the go-ahead run from scoring. I hope it's hit right at you and you don't have to knock it down.
You can pick it up and throw to first.
Pick it up, throw to first, and go to dinner.
In the air, right side. It's a high sky. Ryan Howard had trouble earlier. He's under it, and he makes the catch, and Jose Contreras bounces back and picks up his second save of the season. The first 2 batters got aboard, a hit batter and a single. And with the tying run at third, he's able to get 2 strikeouts and a pop-out, and he rides Raul Ibanez's game-winning single to a 5-4 victory. Chase Utley scored 3 runs today, so he is our Chevrolet player of the game.
Well, one thing we talk about all the time, whether it's your club or the other club, there's nothing like strikeouts coming out of your bullpen. And Jose Contreras and Baez have strikeouts, and he got in trouble. And the thing that was going to get you out of that trouble for 2 outs, strikeouts. He got him, and then he got the pop-up. Great job by Contreras, who's still trying to figure this role out, but the guy has a lot of ability.
A lot of ability, and he showed an awful lot of emotion, too, not only on a couple of pitches before that pop-out, but certainly when that pop-out was recorded by Ryan Howard. Nothing came easy today, even fly balls like that one, as the Phillies pick up a one-run victory, 5-4 over the Cubs. So they earn a split of this series thanks to Raul Ibanez's game-winning base hit.
Big hit by Raul with Chase Utley at second base and John Graybo on the mound. A line drive. Here comes Fukudomi. He did not get a grip on that ball. Took an extra step and maybe two, and that helped Chase score. He was coming all the way, and that's the winning run.
And that is our WB base hit delivery of the ball game. Raul Ibanez, 2 hits, an RBI, and he gets a chance to not only get the game-winning hit, but he gets a chance to chat with Sarge. Sarge, take it away.
All right, guys, thanks a lot, Raul. What a big hit, clutch hit in that inning right there. To be able to hit that ball off the left-hander, hadn't been seeing the ball that well. What'd you do on that at bat?
The last couple of days, yesterday and today, I've been seeing the ball a little bit better, and I just tried not to do too much, knowing that you got a great base runner in Chase on second base. And, Chase's at bat is what allowed us to get into that situation, Chase and Jimmy. And Chase scored on that ball. I mean, not many guys can score on it.
Are you looking fastball in that situation or trying to stay back? He's not overpowering, but he does hit the spots.
Yeah, he's just trying not to do too much. Just trying not to do too much. A single scores him, and I've been swinging a little too hard lately, so this part of the year, and I just try not to do too much.
How about Contreras coming in, the job that he did?
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. I mean, he got himself into a jam there, and he got himself out because he's got great stuff, and he stayed after it.
Thanks for coming on, Raul.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Tom Wills.
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. Our thanks to Raul Ibanez. His game-winning hit has given the Phillies the victory in a split of this 2-game series. Chase Utley scored 3 runs. We'll be back to chat more about it after this.